Well, these girls seem to be bringing in quite a lot of pollen. I know that the loquat tree is blooming, and that's nice, but I don't know what else they're getting into. Hi, welcome to another video. Now, last week I was asked to do a presentation for my bee club about selling honey in Florida, and we had a beautiful bee club night. Because of COVID, we're holding our meetings outdoors, so we did a bonfire, and we had a pickup truck backed up with a television set in the back. I was going to do a beautiful PowerPoint, and my PowerPoint failed, so I didn't get to do the PowerPoint. I did the presentation without it. It was fine. But you know, I had some suggestions that maybe I go ahead and do this video and include my PowerPoint presentation, so please bear with me, we'll do that. So I'm talking today about selling honey under Florida's Cottage Food Laws, okay? Now, every state is different, so if you are here in Florida and you want to sell honey, this is the talk for you. If you're in another state, check with the regulations in your state. If you're in another country, I can't help you. You have to follow your own regulations and laws. But here in Florida, if I'm a small-time honey producer, if my honey sales are less than $50,000 in a year, then all I need to do is follow the regulations of the Florida Cottage Food Law. Okay, so I'm going to put a link. Everything we do here as honey producers in Florida is under the Florida Department of Agriculture here in Florida. Okay, they have lots of online guidance and stuff, but one thing's very nice is the University of Florida's Extension Lab has put out a pamphlet, a PDF file about selling honey, and this is what I'm going to be referring to, and I'll put a it's a guide, I guess, and I'll put a link to that. Okay, so my gross sales have to be under $50,000 a year, okay, and I have to only sell direct to customers. That means that I'm not allowed to put up a website and sell my honey through the website. I can't do internet sales, in other words. I have to do direct to a customer. I can't sell on consignment. I can't have somebody else selling for me. I have to sell direct to my customers, okay? Next point is if the Florida Department of Agriculture requests it, I have to provide them a written accounting of whatever sales that I've done from honey. And most importantly to me anyway, is I have to label my honey properly, okay? My label here in Florida has to be in English language, has to have the label affixed to the container, all right? There at the top of my label, I have to have the Florida Cottage Food Safety. It says Cottage Food Operation. Well, you'll see that in the notes, but that has to be up at the top in 10-pitch font. Okay. I have to have my full name and address. So, for the purpose of my honey sales, it can't be Bruce and his bees. It has to be my full name and my full address. Some people don't like that so much, but that is the thing. So no post office box, no fictitious names. We sell honey here in Florida by the net weight, okay? The net weight. So you have to put how many, you know, what the net weight of the bottle of the container is. Now that's something to think about here, because I centered on selling my honey in one pound bottles. So I put 16 ounces on my label, okay? Now, honey is heavier than water. So if I buy one of those little bottles that holds 12 fluid ounces, 12 ounces of water, that is actually 16 ounces of honey, because honey is heavier. So if I buy the 12-ounce bottles, I can sell it at 1 pound weight, okay? You have to have the name of the product. Now here in Florida, you call it honey, of course. You can have certain modifiers, if you will. You can say raw honey, you can say unfiltered honey, you can say natural honey, but you can't say organic honey here. Not unless you can actually certify that in all the miles that the bees go, they're not going to hit any other flowers except those that are produced organically. Here in Florida, with all the congestion, all the housing, that's not really possible. So you truthfully cannot put organic honey on the label. Okay. Sorry, my phone keeps going dead. I've got my notes on the phone. All right. Infant warning. The infant warning is not necessary, or is not required, but it is recommended. And because there has been cases of botulism in honey, infants under 1 year old generally don't have the immune system built up to tolerate honey. So on my honey, you'll see a statement at the very bottom in 10 pitch that says not to be given to infants under 1 year old of age. Okay. What else? Let's see. The pamphlet has example of how your label's supposed to be set up, and my labels are set up pretty close to the example. I'll show you the picture here. Now, there are certain common mistakes on the labels. For example, you have to have, let me get to the right place in my notes. Common labeling mistakes. The net contents, you know, the net weight of the honey has to be in the lower 30% of the label. You have to use a proper net weight statement, okay? The whole address, including the zip code, has to be in there. Those are all common labeling mistakes. You can't claim, here in Florida, it's almost impossible to claim a pure nectar source. Once again, it has to be something that the bees can't get to anything else except your pure source. So if I say orange blossom honey, I better be in the middle of an orange grove that stretches for miles. All right. If you have a mixed honey, mixed floral source honey, which is what most everything we produce here in Florida is, you can't improperly call it a pure source. Like, I cannot say this is Tupelo honey if the bees are able to get to other flowers. Okay, that's also a no-no. Okay, what else? Okay, so to sell honey, I don't know if this is proper or not, but I'm going to do it anyway. eBay is your friend, okay? I would much prefer to sell my honey in glass bottles, but the fact is, the glass bottles are expensive, so I do sell some glass bottles. But for me, my go-to, my bread and butter operation is in these plastic 1 pound bottles. They're actually 12 fluid ounce, but 1 pound bottles with a plastic cap. And I get them off eBay. And actually, I've got an example of the kind that I use. It's good stuff. Okay, next up, what I did. This is a picture of my label, raw Florida honey. I've got the cottage food industry statement, and I've got the weight. So what I did was I ordered business cards because they're cheap. That's about the cheapest way I could do a label. And then the little sticky Bruce and his bees label will come off right off of eBay also. By doing this, I'm able to have my business card. I tie it to the top of the bottle with a jute string, and I have my little statement, support a local beekeeper. So thank you. I hope you enjoyed this. This is my loquat tree. Loquat's a beautiful little yellow fruit. It tastes really good. And the bees love it. A lot of bees working here. Hey, beauty.